So just to talk you through what I've got here. So I've chosen the Regal Rose. I'm going to work with that one first. I've got some smooth stamping card again to work on. And then I've also just pulled out, I'll bring these forward. I've just chosen some colours of our quick dry inks, which I think we've also got on the show for you today. And I've just pulled out some colours that work with my stencil. So pink for the rose, green for the foliage, and then I'm going to put a really neutral colour in the background. Okay, so let me just move those off that glass mat again. I'm also going to be using our blending tools, which we've got on the show again today, and I'm actually going to go with the rectangular one just because I've got more surface area there. We also have on the show the round ones, so it's purely a preference thing with these. I tend to use the round ones if I'm doing a smaller area. If I'm covering a slightly larger area, I tend to go with the rectangular ones, but again, just preference on those. So let's have a little look in our packet then. I'll just pop those there at the ready. So in here, you've actually got 3 separate stencils. And on the back of the packet, there's a lot going on the back of the packet here, but just this little tiny section here is all you need to get you going. And you've got 3 simple steps in order to achieve this finished results. So it asks you to do it once with the first stencil, repeat the same idea with the second stencil, and then repeat it again with the third. Now, you couldn't get much simpler than that. And then you might think, well, which stencil's which, Jan? So just to make life easier, I don't know whether we can get that on there, we've got number 1, number 2 and number 3. So they even tell you which order to work in. So like Joe said, you could just use stencil number 1 to make a really nice pattern. All right, you might want that to be the base of your project that you're working on. By adding the second one, we're starting to add some depth and some shade to it. The third one in all the packets is like sort of an abstract design that puts the background onto your design, which again, to use on its own, that just opens up so many doorways, but we'll actually use them in the way that they're intended, that they've been designed. So 2 options here now for attaching your stencil. I'm actually going to go with some low tack tape and just take a decent sized piece off there, and I'm going to attach and just detack it a little bit, and I'm going to attach this to my stencil just at the top there to keep it in place. If you prefer, you can actually use our repositionable glue, the stick and spray, which you should find on the website. You can actually coat the back of the stencils with this, and it's a temporary adhesive, which means you can take your stencil on and off. So again, just a matter of preference, but for speed tonight, I'm literally just going to stick it down with some tape. So I'm going to take my first colour ink. So this one's actually the lightest shade from our pink range, which is Pink Tulip. So we'll take that off. I tend to put my ink onto, I'm going back to this glass mat again, we were talking about it yesterday, but I like to actually just pop the ink down to the mat and then literally pick it up with my applicator, so I can load that applicator now with the ink. And this is quick dry ink. It will work equally as well with your water reactive inks, but the beauty of working with the quick dry means that you've not got to wait for one layer to dry before you start the next one. So all I'm going to do then is I'm going to look roughly, I want my rose in the centre here, which we're going to, and all I'm doing is little circular movement straight onto that cardstock through my stencil. I'm not too worried if it catches the leaves, because if you think about roses, you often get a bit of that pink colouring in the leaves anyway. So again, just take it round as deep as you want, as pastel as you want. There's no right and wrong there. And then there's some little buds just at the top here. And you notice how I'm actually turning my artwork. So instead of trying to get into awkward places, just spin your artwork round so that you can... Are you coming to join me?
Sorry, I was just moving your table over.
You're just rearranging it. Oh,
Yeah,
I've got the bin for you to stand in again, haven't I?
I'm just having a bit of a move round here.
That's all right. I don't mind you rearranging my house. You're all right.
Just squeezing myself in. There we are.
So then we're going to pop that one back for a second, and then I've got the lightest tone from our green collection. So this one's Spring Meadow. So I've stayed with the 2 lightest tones to start off. So again, wee bit on the mat there. pick it up on my blending tool. So it's loading that ink into the sponge applicator there. And again, I'm going to bring this in for the leaves.
Why does it not dry on there?
Because this is non-porous.
Right, okay.
So on the stencil, on a stamp, on the glass mat, it won't dry, but the minute it hits a porous surface, and I'll show you literally, Joe, we'll do this bit here, and as quick as I can, we'll just give it a...
Oh, wow, it really dries quickly, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That's
so
amazing.
They're perfect for this job, they really are. So again, just pick up that ink, little circular motions. I'm just pushing the applicator gently through that stencil, and it won't damage the stencil. The ink just wipes off. Again, we talked about this being non-porous, so when I'm finished I can just clean my stencil with either a piece of kitchen paper and water, a wet wipe, run it under the tap, anything like that. So just to build up that colour.
Carlene Samedy, Samedy or Samedy, I'm not sure. Which one, let us know which one is right. Says, has anybody found a way to attach the little sponges to the ink pads? Now, I've seen people do it. Have you done it? Have you got it done?
You want to, now then, let me think. I know, I'm trying to think where I'm not sure if I've not got it from our stores, actually. It's called Hook and Loop.
Yes.
And it's like one of the...
Like Velcro?
Yes, that's one of the
Would
brand
you try not to say
names.
Velcro?
I was, yes.
Sorry.
I'll let you say it, that's fine. That's
I'll
fine.
get in trouble now.
But yeah, that's your brand name. But yeah, it's actually known as Hook and Loop, and you get one side that's sort of fluffy and the other side's a bit rougher and it sticks together. Okay, so let me think which side we need. This is the spiky side. So if you cut a little piece, it comes on a roll. If you cut a little piece of it and stick it under your ink pad, this will then
just
stick underneath your ink pad.
Hook and loop onto your ink pad.
It will.
Yeah, top
so
idea.
Brilliant way of storing them. Someone else that I know that I've worked with, and I thought this was a fantastic idea if you don't want to do that. She uses she's got an A4 sheet and she's got the colours stamped out of the inks, and then it's in some kind of pocket, and she just pops these with the respective colour ink in the little pockets. So again, lots of different ways of storing them. But what I want to do now is just have a cheeky peek, because like you were saying earlier, Joe, you might just want to use that one.
Yeah.
And because we've put the tape here, it acts like a hinge, so I can pick it up and put it back. Not going to be a problem. So if we just actually lift this one, and you can see, you know, that might be all you want to do. And that's absolutely fine. But just wait while you see the next layer on it.
Do you know what, and as well, I'm thinking about, you know, things like cards with these as well. Imagine glitter pasting through these.
Well, yeah, I was going to get to that, because obviously it doesn't have to be ink.
No,
or your glitter paste, your texture paste.
You could do it on the wall.
If you go for that out of this world deal, Joe, you can colour your texture paste with the glitter pens. So then you've got a glittery texture paste. Happy girl. Happy girl, honestly.
I think this set really is one of those, like, the more you use it, creativity breeds creativity with this. The more you use it, the more you'll start to lose it. A lot of people saying thank you for the storage idea as well,
Yeah,
Jan.
no problem. So all these little things that we learn as we go along, and I don't mind sharing at all. And some of them I've picked up from other people. So if I have, thank you to that person. So again, I've gone for stencil number 2 now. Okay. And this is actually slightly smaller in design. So it's intended to add some depth now. Okay. Make it look a bit more 3D. So as far as positioning is concerned, if you lay it over the top, you can see roughly where your design is underneath. And we can get that in the right place there to actually add some detail. Tape it down again, and then I'm actually going to go to my next one. So for the first layer we used pink tulip. I'm going to come to the mid-tone now, which is fuchsia in the pink one, and we're going to add some depth on there. So again, pop my pink one back on, pop a little bit of pink down there. Love this colour.
Oh, it's very bright.
Wicked. Absolutely wicked. Again, pick it up, load that applicator so that you've got that. This acts as a carrier for your ink. And then again, I'm just going to go in those little circles over the top. I'm going to try and stay just over that pink, but I'm not going to stress too much if I get some on the leaves. Okay.
This looks very cathartic.
It's
like,
lovely, honestly,
like
and it's
colouring.
so simple to do, Joe. So even if you're at a beginner level, you would be able to produce some lovely artwork with these stencils.
Absolutely.
So again, swap over.
I think I'm right in saying we've got all of the quick drying inks on the show today as well. So go along to the website and stock up on those as well. So
then again, we started out with Spring Meadow. We're now going to Grasshopper, which is that mid-tone again. So it's just taking it a shade darker. And the beauty of the inks is that all the hard work's been done done as far as actually colour matching. Our Leanne's worked really hard with these to get the colours right so that you know that these are going to work together. So again, I've just soaked it up on the opposite end this time, and I'm actually going to go over the top of what I've already done. You think, well, it's going to cover it up. You know, why did we do the first layer if we're going to do this? But it's not as big an area. So this is just adding highlights. And again, turn that artwork so that you can get to the area that you want to get to, rather than struggling and fighting with it. And then again, we can have another little sneaky peek now. So because we've got that hinge on, if I pop this in here, can you see how all of a sudden this has now started to become more 3D?
That is incredible, it really is.
So again, you could stop there. So like you said earlier, you know, 2 stencils, absolutely fine. So I'm just going to take that one off with my low tack tape.
Remember the details on your screen for all of them. You can go for any 2 of the stencils for £12 or $12 if you want to do as well. So there's something for everyone there.
There is. My trouble there would be which 2.
Which 2?
They see me come in, yeah. It has to be all of them. So again, this one is totally abstract. It's nothing to do with the actual rose. It's intended to be a background now. And you might think, well, why did you not do that one first? But I don't particularly want the background underneath my rose. I'm actually going to go more around the edge of it. So again, it doesn't really matter where you put this one. So I'm just going to line sort of roughly, I was using the centre of the card. Pop it back down again. We'll turn that the other way and get rid of that pink ink. Okay. And then what I've done this time is I've chosen one of the neutral shades. And this one, I love this shade. It's called Misty Morning. And it's a cross between sort of what I call a brown grey. So it's not sort of a blue grey. It is you can get blue greys and brown greys, so warm tones and cool tones. So your blue grey would be more like you're wearing, which is a cooler tone. This one's got a little bit more of a warmer tone to it.
Oh, wow.
So again, load up that applicator. I've just popped a clean one on. They're all interchangeable. They literally just tear off, stick back on again.
Wonderful.
Okay. And again, we're going to load up that applicator with the grey ink. Wonderful. And then what I'm going to do is I'm sort of going to aim around that picture now, that rose. It doesn't matter if I catch it a little bit, but I'm actually going to aim for the outside areas. And I just want a really light sort of piece in the background that's picking up that lighter colour ink. And again, I just want it around the edges. So I'm not going to worry too much about going over the centre part. Literally just pop it in there. Grab that last bit of ink, and then I've got a couple that I've worked on earlier that I can just show you, because by adding a little bit of embellishment to them, again, it changes them again. Okay, so I've just gone round the edge there. I've sort of avoided the area where the flower was. And again, when we look again, if we're ready, it's just added that little bit of something to the background of it.
Yeah, it's framed it beautifully, hasn't it?
And then just taking it to the next level, if we just lift you this one up so that you can see it a bit closer, we'll show our mat there. Oh, fantastic, gorgeous. Yeah?
I just love the vibrancy of the pinks and the greens
isn't it?
together.
Yeah,
it really
really
pops.
Nice.
I mean, you know, imagine that that's a card, really, isn't it?
It is. I mean, just a sentiment on there.
I'd love that just framed.
Yeah.
You know,
lovely piece of home decor.
Just as a piece of home decor.
Pick out the colours that you've got in your home. You know, if you're using it for a lounge or a bedroom, sort of pick up the colours. Brilliant. But then when you start sort of matting and layering and embellishing them, this is the butterfly one. So this has been done with the orange ink with that lovely fuchsia pink over the top of it. So you can mix the colours. You don't have to stay within a colour family. And you've got that lovely swirl in the background. And then all I've done is I've just added a few little self-adhesive pearls there to it. And I've matted and layered it on some of our black card and some of that glitter card again. I know we had it on the show yesterday and we've got it coming up again, I think, today. So that's the butterfly one. And then this is the... now then, let me just check the... I've not written down.
That's the... Oh, hang on.
Yeah.
That is.
Go on.
That's the geometric diamond.
That's the one. Yeah, that's the one. Okay. So again, fantastic. And again, that's different colours there. I've used a yellow tone, a green tone and a turquoise. Okay.
So these would look lovely,
so
I
just
think,
to give you an idea there.
As scrapbooking, you know, just accenting scrapbooking pages.
And again, there's nothing to stop you chop. I like chopping things up. So even though that's a design in its own right, and so was the rose that we did, we were talking about that triptych yesterday with the 3. Cut it into 3 elements and spread it apart. You can make a bigger design.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah? It really is beautiful.